Hey, Russell Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. I know I'm a little late today. Happy Tuesday to everybody. This is On Air with Russell of Hotels. You know that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about? Yeah, I had some people, well, some good friends come by because they parked their car here when they went to the airport, right? A lot of people do that, right? Uh, but only thing I asked people to do is surrender your keys, right? I need your key just in case I got to move it, just in case something happens on the street where I have to move their car, right? So of course I had to give them their key, and of course, giving the key turns into a conversation about their trip, right? And I wasn't ready. I wasn't 100% set up for the show before I did that. But things happen, right? But it's all about as long as I'm doing the show, right? And not is that what's important? I think so. So anyway, hope you guys forgive me for that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. This is the monologue portion of the show, right? So I'm gonna do a little talking, little tap dancing about around some stuff, but then we're gonna get into the show. Okay, so just bear with me. So the monologue goes for a couple minutes or whatever, and then we jump into the show, which gives me a little chance to kind of catch up on get my thoughts together because I don't know where the heck I am. I don't know what's going on. But let me just see. Let me see some stuff that I was working on. I got my iPad right here, and hopefully it's where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I got that. I got that. I think I have my topic. But yeah, today is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. So this is show number 317, like I already said. But who would have thought 317, right? I always have to think about that, right? Because I just remember when I first started this thing, this whole experiment with, doing a podcast, and then a traditional podcast back then, which was 100% audio, turns into, a video podcast, right? You know, how with the advent of, of Facebook Live and all those, platforms where you can go and do lives and all that kind of stuff. That stuff wasn't even in existence back in 2019, believe it or not, right? Facebook Live came in at the end of 2019, which is crazy, right? Because it's now we use that stuff all the time. We use it every single day now, right? In our everyday life. So, but back then it wasn't. And so I was doing 100% audio podcast, basically like a radio show, right? It was at an internet radio station, LA Talk Radio. Shout out to them. But yeah, so kind of evolved to where it is now. And here we go. Here we are. Here we are. So once again, we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you don't follow me in any of those channels, please do so. Follow me at LinkedIn, Russell L. Edmond. My middle initial is L. Last name is Edmond. And then on on YouTube, it's Russell of Hotels. And then I think Facebook is Russell L. Edmond as well. So there you go. So make sure you follow me. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so. Get to Russell of Hotels and hit that button. Bing! It'll go bing. And then you're like, oh, I'm locked in, right? So anytime I go live on YouTube, you get a notification. And feel free to make comments right now. So you can make comments, you can do all that stuff. Say, hey, what's going on? In fact, let me just make sure the chat is open there. So yeah, so just make sure you can make your comments, you can do all that stuff. So there you go. So before I get started on the show, of course, we're gonna do the intro. We'll do the intro, and then we'll be back, and then we'll get started on the show. And of course, I have some topics. I got all that stuff, right? So just bear with me. In fact, I already did the intro, didn't I? Dang it, I did do the intro. So see, I don't even know where I am right now. Who are you? I don't even know who I am. So, but anyway, I guess I've done the intro. Can I do it again? Because I'm kind of like off without the intro. But no, I did the intro already. So let's move on to the show, I guess. Damn. And anytime I do one of these shows, I never do a show where I don't showcase a hotel. Okay, a hotel that I've been to, a hotel that I've experienced. Today's show or today's what do you call it? Hotel happens to be the Strat in Las Vegas, right? The Stratosphere. They call it the Strat now. They're trying to be cool. I don't think a lot of people can spell stratosphere, so they say, you know what? Let's change it to the Strat. Okay. So anyway, I stayed in that hotel I was there for IMAX about a month ago now, I guess, right? And one of the sales managers hooked me up, and I appreciate that. I had never been to the hotel. I never even considered staying at this hotel. Never considered for a group because everything, every time I stay at a hotel, I'm looking at it from a group perspective, right? So, group is 10 rooms or more, 10 people or more, that kind of thing. So I'm always looking at it from a perspective like that. Well, I don't go to Vegas that often. And a lot of time when I go, I'm being hosted at IMAX or something like that. Um, so there's really no reason for me to even go to the Stratosphere. But I had an opportunity to go there, and I was actually pleasantly surprised because you hear things and you see things or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to stay there, but sometimes we have to go and experience it for ourselves. And I did, and I'm glad I did, and I was pleasantly surprised. So shout out to the Strat, right? I appreciate you guys taking care of me for the 3 nights that I was there. They have some restaurants in there that I ate probably out of the 3 nights. I think I ate at least two, and there was like an Asian cuisine there, which was good. And I took it to my room. I didn't eat the. I think a football game was on or something like that, so I had to watch that, right? But no, it was good. It was very good. And any restaurant that has some non-meat eats for me, I'm all in, right? And for people that don't know what non-meat eats are, that means I don't eat meat, right? So I am a vegan. My diet consists of vegan options. Okay, so I call them non-meat eats. Hashtag non-meat eats. So I'm looking at myself in the thing here. Make sure my glasses were askew. So now I guess they're on now. But so yeah, so I'm always looking for options. I go to hotels and I purposely, if I don't eat in their restaurant, I look at their menus, right? Because I purposely do that to see if they have some non-meat options for me, right? Non-meat eat options. And this one happened to have it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I can't remember the dish, but it had lot of tofu in it. Tofu and vegetables. That's kind of all I need. Tofu, vegetables. You throw some noodles in there with some type of Asian sauce, I'm good, right? Some kind of spice. That's me. Okay, so I'm easy to please, right? But believe it or not, as simple as what I just described, a lot of restaurants don't do it, right? A lot of places don't have the option. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. So all around, I'm okay with the Strat. Only thing I did not like, if I had to pick one thing, I'm not a big casino fan anyway, and I don't think their ventilation is probably as up to par as some of the other hotels. Meaning you can smell if people are smoking in the lobby, you can kind of smell it. Not as pronounced as if they didn't have ventilation, but not like the ventilation system is not like some of the other hotels where you don't smell it at all. Okay, so it's a little different from that perspective. But if you can deal with that, you're okay, right? They have a traditional casino. You walk through the front door and through the casino to the front desk, then to your rooms, right? A lot of the hotels you kind of bypass the casino because they made them on the other side. But this is an older hotel, right? So it was built, I want to say, in the early 90s, I believe. So they're still building hotels the same way they've always done it, right? Now it's a little different. But would I stay there again? Yeah, that's it. Just bottom line, would you stay there again? Yes, I would stay there again. Would I take a group there? The right group? Yes, I would. And for the right people, would stay there, right? So yeah, so I'm good. I said all that to say this. The hotel I'm showing today is showcasing is the Strat in Las Vegas. Okay. 2,427 rooms. That's 2,427 guest rooms. Meeting space, if you're interested in that, 20,000 square feet of meeting space. And it's all in the tower. It's all at the top, right? So you have spectacular views of the city of Las Vegas, the strip, everything, right? So it's kind of cool. It is kind of cool. And they have bungee jumping off of the top. People jump off and you think that, somebody's jumping off. They're actually jumping off. Well, no, it's a controlled jump off. Okay. So if you're ever there and you're eating at the restaurant at the top and you see somebody, fly by, more than likely they're doing the bungee jumping. Okay, just so you know. So too overly excited about it. It's planned. Okay. So but real quick, before I get into what I was really gonna talk about, before I start showing you all the photos of everything, I want to give a quick shout out. I want to give a quick shout out because this was kind of cool the other day. Okay, so I got invited. In fact, where's that stuff at? Okay, I have to run over here and get it. But a couple of days ago, I think it was last week, I got invited to do a virtual fam trip. Right, I've never done a virtual fam. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm sure they've done these things before, and maybe I'm the last one to the party, and I'd never been to one before. Right, so I got invited to this virtual fam, which was given by the Greater Palm Springs CVB, right, or DMO, but specifically for Indian Wells, who Sam Thompson is the director of tourism there. Okay, Samuel Thompson the third. Okay, you guys know Sam Thompson. Um, so I got invited to do this virtual fam, which I thought was cool. Just giving you information about their destination, and, the hotel partners, the DMC that was represented, who was represented by Miss Michelle Stansfield. So I'm giving those people a shout out. I want to first start with, of course, Mr. Sam Thompson. So shout out to Mr. Sam Thompson the third, Director of Indian Wells Tourism for the Greater Palm Springs area. So for people that may not know, maybe you're on the outside looking in, you've never been there, you've heard of it. Palm Springs is the I guess the Palm Springs, the city is the name. It's called the Greater Palm Springs CVB, right? But it encompasses a lot of the different communities within the Greater Palm Springs. So Indian Wells, and a lot of people know Indian Wells from the tennis tournament that happens there every year, right? With I think I don't know if it's the one. It's not. It's on the tour, right? So all the greats will be there playing. You guys have seen it before, right? Well, that's in Indian Wells, right? So that's how I know Indian Wells because, and plus, I went to school. I went my first college. I went to several colleges, but my first college was in the desert. It was called College of the Desert, right? Which was in Palm Desert, which is not too far from Indian Wells. So I know the area very well, right? So, but yeah, so shout out to Sam Thompson for inviting me and putting this thing together. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Joseph Flores. He's with the Tommy Bahama Miramonte Resort in Indian Wells. Shout out to him. In fact, he just connected with me on LinkedIn. I appreciate that. See, that's what it's all about, right? Make sure you connect with people. When you have things like that, the virtual tours and all that kind of stuff, make sure you're connecting with people on LinkedIn because more than likely they are connected there. They are on LinkedIn. So why not connect with them and form a somewhat of a relationship and start communicating with them via that if you want to do that. I guess I think it's a good thing, right? In fact, when I attend trade shows or conferences or fam trips or whatever, so anyone I get a business card from, I immediately go to LinkedIn and connect with them. Okay, so I think when we do the IMEXs of the world or the Destination Southeast and the smart meetings and connects and all those shows that we do, conventions, if you don't connect with people, I don't know what the heck you do then, right? Connect with them on LinkedIn, right? I mean, it takes less time to do that than to email them, okay? Because all you're doing is pointing and clicking, typing the name in and clicking. Boom, there you go. You don't have to do a long out, drawn out email and all this. Just send them a message on LinkedIn. I mean, yeah, you can email them too. That's good to have their email too. Don't discount that. But everyone's on LinkedIn. Everyone's doing it. So why aren't you doing it? So just make sure we're doing that. And then also a shout out to Miss Michelle Stansfield. I did mention her name, but she's with Terramar DMC. And tomorrow I'm going to explain what a DMC. So I do a daily check-in as well. And I'm going to kind of explain, give a definition of a DMC and what they do. But bottom line, I know DMCs because I used them before for transportation, to and from the airport or to and from separate different venues, or maybe those out of the way venues that you may not have heard of. I use DMCs for that. Those hard to get tickets for, like, say you need, tickets to go to the Laker game, right? And you need like 10 of them. I've used DMCs for that, right? Just kind of, hey, I need this. Can you do this for me? Yeah, I mean, it all comes at a cost. Don't get me wrong, right? But if you have no other option, then you got to do what you have to do. So no, DMCs, I love them. Some of my groups use them, some of them don't. So but I know the value of a DMC. So shout out to Miss Michelle Stansfield with Terramar DMC, and I think they're not just located. I think they're located worldwide, if I'm not mistaken. Terramar. In fact, I think I saw something. They are based. They have offices in Panama. Okay, because I was in Panama not too long ago, and I wish I had known because I would have used. It was just for me, right? But I would have used. I would have reached out. I'd have reached out and touched DMC. But anyway, I'm just joking. Yeah, you don't have to hear. You don't have to start. Don't listen to me sing. But anyway, I'm gonna have to just jump over here because I want to show you something they sent me. Right. So hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know why I didn't have this on my table here before. But anyway, I want to show you what they sent me. So, because I'm big on, on showing things and putting people on blast. And putting people on blast is a good thing. Okay. It's not a bad thing. Okay. So I got this package. Yeah, I don't know when I got it. Because I've been traveling. So I'm not sure when it came through, but I happened to see it today. I'm like, what the heck is that? So it's basically a grapefruit basil martini. Okay. So this was sent because Sam Thompson. Okay, so this is we're gonna tie this together with the virtual fam, virtual fam trip or tour that we did, last week, right? With Greater Palm Springs, specifically Indian Wells tourism. Okay, so I got this, and I guess this is a recipe for this particular martini. Okay, well, that wasn't enough. They sent a box with all the ingredients to make the martini. So I guess in the perfect world, everyone that was on the virtual fam would have received this and had time to make themselves a cocktail. Okay, but it didn't happen that way. Some things, even with our best efforts, it doesn't go according to plan, and that's okay, right? So I got this card. Thank you. Okay, so I like to read stuff, right? Russell, thank you for joining us on the Better Together virtual fam. Love it. Enjoy these Tommy Bahama crafted cocktails and mocktails. We look forward to welcoming you to our stunning destination. Cheers, Michelle and Joseph. So shout out again to Michelle and Joseph Flores for sending that over. I do appreciate that. Okay, and then see, I haven't even looked. I haven't even opened this. Okay, so this is the box. And I'm just gonna. What is this? Mastering relaxation, Tommy Bahama. Now, what is this? See, I don't even know what this is. It's I assume that's either some liquor or something that's non-liquor. Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure. Does it say what it is? I don't know. But then it comes with 2 cocktail glasses too. I mean, you guys are doing too much. Okay, look at this. Now, had I known that's what this was, I would have had some ice. I'd had these cleaned out. I'll be making a drink right now because it's 12:30 somewhere, right? 4:30 somewhere. What they say? I don't know. It's time to drink. Okay, it's beer 30, beer o'clock. Okay, or cocktail o'clock. Anyway, you guys may think I'm drinking already, but anyway, this is and it's branded with Tommy Bahama. Okay, so there you go. So maybe they have these in their guest rooms, but yeah, I'm gonna be drinking this later. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know that it's something that's probably pretty damn good. In fact, you know what? Let me just. That's kind of orange. Is that an orange liqueur? I think there's some mocktails and some cocktails. I just wanted to. That's gonna be pretty good. Okay. So once again. See, you never know what's going to happen here. So yeah, there's two glasses. I can share that. If you're over here, if I had somebody with me, I can have, we can ching ching. But no, thank you again, Michelle and Joseph, and then Sam again for inviting me to the virtual fam. I actually did have a RFP for Indian Wells, so it was kind of perfect timing that we had this virtual fam, and I had sent them an RFP too. So there you go. Not sure if the RFP is going to work out. I mean, meaning if the group is going to decide on Indian Wells. I'm not sure because now some other stuff is coming to the picture. You know how you send things out? Well, at least for me, being a planner or hotel site selection person, you send things out because it's based on what they requested. And then all of a sudden, other people probably get mixed into this. And next thing you know, I'm getting an email saying, hey, can you include this destination? Can you do this? I said, well, wait a minute. What about Indian Wells? I mean, when we talk about Indian Wells, well, when the board members said this and when the board members said that and blah, 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 blah. And they want this to be considered as well. Like, okay, so now there's more destinations and hotels in the mix. So that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, once again, thank you, Michelle Stansfield, Terramar, DMC, Greater Palm Springs, Joseph Flores, Tommy Bahama, Miramonte Resort in Indian Wells, and Mr. Samuel Thompson III, Director of Indian Wells Tourism, which is in the Greater Palm Springs area. So there you go. So I just want to make sure, you always got to give shout outs, right, to people. And I appreciate that. I don't have this platform just for me to look good. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I, highlight some of the people that I talk to and some of the people I come across, some of the people I'm connected to, and the people that do things for you, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's called hospitality for a reason, right? It's that feeling that you get. So when I got this box, I didn't know what it was at first until I opened it. And it's that feeling you get like, oh my God, this is cool. They thought of everything, right? They didn't have to do that. You're thinking of all those things, but it's that emotion, it's that emotion piece. That's what the hospitality comes. And you don't get that from the building. You don't get that from, oh, I'm going to Palm Springs, I'm gonna get hospitality in Palm Springs. Well, no, not unless you come across somebody, right? I can go to Miramonte Resort, right? And if the building is empty, meaning there's nobody in there, I'm not going to get any hospitality from the building, right? You get the hospitality from the people, from a Joseph Flores. I get, a hospitality in Indian Wells from a Sam Thompson. I get, hospitality from the DMC Terra. What is it called again? Dang it. Wait. See, just that quick, I forget. Just that quick. Just that quick. Just that quick. From Terramar. I don't get hospitality from Terramar at the company. I get hospitality from Michelle Stansfield. So that's what it's all about, right? And I had to look it up again. Okay, sorry. That's why that's why I have all these notes here. But anyway, make sure you make comments. Feel free to make your comments as I move forward. So what I'm gonna do is take my picture off so you can see the room. So, like I said, every time I do a show, I showcase a hotel. I want to show you the room, what I had, every inch of the room. And my room happened to be a suite. It's an oversized room, but it's a suite. Okay, that's what they call it. So that's what I'm calling it, right? It's a suite. So let me just say that, and you'll still be able to hear me. So this is the guest room. This is where I slept, right? Yeah, this is where I slept, believe it or not. And like I said, I was pleasantly surprised, right? So you go in there and you're like, yeah, right. Okay. It's going to be nice. I wasn't sure, but I was definitely surprised and it was definitely nice. And I would definitely go and stay there again. In fact, I'm trying to change something. Okay. This is a strat. Okay. So boom, there we go. Okay. So this was my guest room. And this is going to be probably 110 different angles of my guest room. So on one side was the living area, and then that little partition, and it's a two-sided TV. So it's a TV facing the living room, and there's a TV facing the bedroom, right? So, and then you can see the view outside. You see buildings or whatever. So it was kind of interesting. It was a good size room. So you can see it from, you can see it from that point. Oh my God, it's huge, right? It's freaking huge. So I'm taking this photo from this. They have this little dining area, which at first it looks, is it out of place to be there? But it works, right? Because you don't have to eat on the bed, you don't have to eat on the couch. You can, it has its own little space to dine, right? And it's set like it seats like 6 people. So I'm like, this is kind of cool. And there was enough room for all of that, right? So I thought it was kind of cool. So this is a sitting area, which I showed. Once again, it's 2,427 guest rooms. Do-do-do, do-do-do. This is the kind of the wet bar area and slash microwave and coffee maker, if you will. And then there's a refrigerator under that as well. And then this is that's the dining area, or the sitting area that I was talking about. If you look at it from there, you think you're in a restaurant, right? You wouldn't even think you're in a guest room, right? In a hotel. But it worked, right? It worked. It worked. And I just, I don't like to show a lot of the bathroom because, then people, you see one toilet, you see them all, right? But I just wanted to show you kind of a little bit of it, and then the shower right next to it, which was actually pretty nice. It was probably as big as that let's see, it was probably bigger than the bedroom, the shower, just the shower area was. So, but anyway, so once again, this is show number 317 on air with Russell of Hotels. And then I have a what do you call it? A topic. Let's see. I just want to make sure to put the camera on. See, that's one thing that I have not figured out 100%. How do I get this picture? How do I get my camera? How do I get the picture back over here? Let's see. Is it this one? Let's see. See, I forget. I forget how to do it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do 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 do. Let's see. If I add a scene, what would that do with the camera? If I add a scene, see. Uh, 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 uh. See this thing here. It won't even show my camera. Oh, you know what it did? It turned off for some reason. Oh my goodness. This is some crap here. This is something else here. Hold on one second. Be patient with me because for some reason my camera actually went off. My camera went off. This is crazy. How would it do that? Okay, let's see if that's okay. All right, see this thing. Ooh, this thing is something else here. Okay, so we got that back on. Thank goodness. I don't know why it didn't do what it's supposed to do. I normally go through, and I did it today, where you do a every time I do one of these shows, it's like a dress rehearsal. Like I've never done it before, because it's new, right? This whole Restream that I'm using, that's the platform, is new. It's new to me, right? So, but I've rehearsed enough that you think you know all the buttons, right? And sometimes the thing just shuts off. I'm like, what the hell? The hell is this all about? But anyway, hey, is what it is. You just keep it moving. So okay. So I had a topic, and let me get to the topic. Let me get to the topic. And as you can see, I know I can't sing, okay, but that doesn't stop me from singing. Oh man. Okay, let's see. The topic. Topic. We'll just read the topic. Let's just read the topic. Topic is There's a fine line now. I kind of paraphrase this. I think I did. There's a fine line between seeing everything and experiencing the destination. So this had to do with fam trips. Okay. So we do a lot of fam trips. People, we go, and the fam trip is to familiarize yourself with the destination or for the hotel, right? But my question, and I've had this conversation with other planners or other hotel site selection people, and they say, do we have to see everything? Why do we have to see everything? And we're trying to experience the destination or the location, but we're forced to do all these other things. We run around and look at all these 10 hotels. How many of these hotels you really gonna remember? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying don't show them. I'm saying that you have to be selective about what you're showing. And I think you have to know your group before you do that, right? Like, what do they want to see? Is there like a, can you take a poll before you take them to different locations or different hotels to see? I don't know. I don't know. There's probably no easy way to do this, but I can say this, that a lot of times we go to these conferences and whatever, and yeah, we see a lot of things, right? And what I've been noticing lately is that whoever's in charge, whatever this is this a connect, a destination, smart meetings, the people that are in charge, they'll make sure they address this. They'll say, make sure if you're a planner, you attend these events, right? They didn't used to say that before. So what I'm hearing, the consensus around some of the planners is that they're being forced, they think they're being forced to go to all these different things. Now, I go to all the events. I go to all the events. If there's a tour, I'm going to the tour. Okay. I mean, whatever it is, I'm gonna do, right? But sometimes I do think like, damn, we saw a lot of stuff today, and I don't remember a lot of it, right? So what I do, so I remember things, that's why I take a lot of photos, right? I take photos, I take videos, because I want to make sure I remember where I went. Because it is important for us to see this stuff. And definitely I understand, because remember I came from the hotel side, right? So we spend a lot of money to bring people here. So the least we can do is to see everything that we have to offer. Okay. I understand that, but sometimes you can only do it in small doses. And a lot of times these conferences, they're like a day and a half, right? And so they have, short amount of time to squeeze all this stuff in. Okay. And of course, a DMO has a lot of partners as well, hotel partners or whatever. They want to make sure their hotel's being showcased as well. So I understand all that, but sometimes it can be a lot. Okay. So I just want, and this is not just coming 100% from me. Yeah, it's my show and I'm the one that came up with the topic, but a lot of my topics come from experience. They either come from experience things that I've experienced, or people that are like me, or meaning they're planners or hotel site selection people. They've told me, we've had conversations about this, right? Like, what do you think about this? Oh my God, what do you think about it? Oh my God, we saw 10 hotels. I get all of it, right? I get all of it. So I guess of course, I want to make sure that the people that are in charge of this stuff, they understand it as well, because a lot of people are not going to say this. Okay. So, but I am, because it's important that, that we as planners get a chance to experience the destination and the location where we're staying, right? Because we're trying to sell this to who? A client. Okay, that's what we're trying to do, sell to a client. Okay, I'm not there for the vacation. Okay, I can vacation anywhere. I don't need a vacation where I am. Okay, so I'm not there just to relax. I'm there to, you want to take it all in. You want to, I walk around the property by myself, taking photos, taking videos or whatever. So I'm not being rushed either. So I know exactly, okay, this is of that hotel and this is the space, and I love this part of it, and whatever it is. And that way I can, tell my client, hey, you may want to consider this because this, and that. And I have some photos to show you, right? So I know it's important that we see all the stuff, but sometimes we don't need to see every hotel. Okay. I'm just saying if it's like 10 hotels, oh my God, do we need to see all 10? I don't know. But I understand. Okay. Remember, I came from the other side. I came from the other side. Okay. So I understand, your shareholders. Okay. I can't put it any simpler than that, right? I understand this, the shareholders and everybody wants to be involved. So, okay, so the question was, well, I don't know if it's a question or a statement. There's a fine line between seeing everything and experiencing a destination. Number one, let me just jump into number one. Experience creates memories. Let's get to that. Experiences create memories. You can see 10 hotels in a day, but if you don't actually experience what makes each one special, it's just a list of lobbies, a list of lobbies and room types. Oh, you see our lobby? We just renovated our lobby. Oh, we got 244 guest rooms. Okay, yeah. We got 10,000 square feet of meeting space, and we have this boardroom. All that stuff can kind of go together. Planners and buyers remember how a place made them feel, not just what it looked like. Okay. Now, you guys saw this box of goodies that I got to make a cocktail, right? You saw how excited I was about that. And there was a box in the mail. So no one gave it. I mean, someone sent it to me. I mean, the excitement was me unveiling that because I had never seen it before, right? So you want people to have that kind of feeling when they see your destination, they see your hotel. They want to make sure they experience it. I'm going to experience this cocktail later, right? That somebody put together for me and was thoughtful enough to put it in the mail to me, right? And you guys saw me unveil it. And in fact, if you didn't see me unveil it, go back and rewind this and you'll see me. Hotels should focus on immersive touch points, tasting the chef's signature dish, interacting with staff, or seeing a meeting setup in action. The emotional connection is what converts a site visit into future business. Okay. So we kind of sometimes lose track of that stuff. Like, why are we there? We're there to find out what's suitable for our clients, right? Okay, at least that's what I'm there for because I never know where my clients are going to go next, where they want to go next, right? I never know that, right? And I'll give you just a quick little example. Greenville, South Carolina. I had never been to Greenville, South Carolina, okay? I didn't know that I would be there looking at it for a potential client, right? I'm there kind of gathering information, taking photos, and which I do when I go to a lot of these fam trips or conferences or whatever. Just so happened, my client was looking for somewhere in the Southeast region, right? And I said, "Hey, you ever thought about Greenville?" "No, I never thought about it. I never been there." Blah blah blah. And so I'm sending these pictures. She's based in the Southeast region, like in Atlanta. So I'm emailing her these photos that I took in the video. She goes, "Oh my God, they have a walkable downtown. They have this, they have that." I was like, "Yeah, okay, set up something." Next thing you know, make a long story short, she ended up booking there. They booked like 2 or 3 programs there. So that's what I'm talking about. So you just don't know. But if I'm glad they showed, I didn't. The hotel they chose. Let's check this out. The hotel that this group chose, we didn't see it. It wasn't on the tour. Okay, the hotel tour. It wasn't there. It wasn't on the tour. We saw some other hotels. I just showed her the destination. The destination. I think I did show her maybe a couple of hotels, but it wasn't a hotel that they ended up choosing because that wasn't on the list of tours, right? So sometimes you can't show everything, right? That doesn't mean they're not going to choose that destination, but I think it's important that we show the benefits of destinations and how it can, how clients, smaller groups, how they will enjoy it or, how the experience will be or whatever. So just so happened that, yeah, I'd never been to Greenville. She had never been to Greenville. I took pictures of every hotel but that one because we didn't see that hotel, but they end up choosing the hotel that I didn't see, you know. So there you go. So does that make sense? Anyway, number two, depth. Let's see. Number two is depth beats speed when it comes to familiarization. Okay. Fam trips are about understanding fit, not checking boxes. Okay. It has to fit with the group, right? It has to fit with the group. It's not just checking the box. Spending more time in fewer locations helps you identify authentic experiences and true value for your clients. Quality interactions with hotel staff and DMO partners reveal much more than a fast paced tour schedule ever could. Hmm. Okay. When planners slow down, they see the details, service, story, and spirit that makes a property memorable. Okay. You want a property to be memorable. And these things that I'm saying, all these steps right here, these talking points, they'll be on my blog. Okay. So you don't have to commit anything to memory. You don't have to take notes. I'm going to make sure it's there. I didn't put it on there yet, but after the show's over, I will make sure they are on my site, which is russellofhotels.com. Just go to the blog, bing, and all this stuff will pop up. Okay, so you don't have to write anything down. Number three, the best FAMs balance education and emotion. Emotion. The best FAMs balance education with emotion. Excuse me. The goal isn't to see it all, it's to feel it all. Oh my God. I like that one. Did you hear that one? Can I say it again? The goal isn't to see it all, it's to feel it all. Oh, I couldn't say that any better. Yes, the meeting space and guest rooms matter, but so does the overall vibe of the destination. This client that I talked about that booked in Greenville, it's all about the vibe for them. It's all about how they feel when they get there. Um, how they're being treated, how they, how the people interact, that feeling of hospitality, the vibe, the energy, they look at all that stuff or they take all that stuff into consideration. So it doesn't matter sometimes, when I'm meeting with a hotel, they're like, oh, we have this, and that. And I said, well, they look for a certain feel. I mean, they have to come here and do the tour. And, I can do as much as I can to get them to come there, but it has to have that typical energy, the energy that they're looking for. I don't know what it is, right? But once we've used one hotel, I kind of can, I understand what they're saying. Okay, I kind of get it. I get the feeling, I get the vibe, whatever. I get the energy. So sometimes it's not about the rates, date, and space. Okay, it's not about that. It's about the feel that they get. It's about that hospitality, the feeling they get from people, the energy, the vibe that they're getting from people, right? That when they walk through the door, is it good energy, bad energy? Is it a mixed bag? Whatever the heck it is, they're looking for that. And a lot of, depending on the group, a lot of them are looking for that, right? So it's not about the hotel itself. It's about the energy that the hotel eludes. Okay. Ooh, that was a good one. Planners should walk away saying, I can see my group here. Not just I visited there. I didn't book anything, but I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. How many times as planners have we been to a place like, yeah, I've been there before. They say, hey, have you been to the XYZ hotel in, 123 city? Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. Or if have you been to this one? Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I took a group there. Oh my God, it was great. Okay, you got totally different responses to that, right? So there you go. So hotels and DMOs should curate moments that speak to why someone would choose them, not just what they offer. And I'm gonna end it on this one. Okay, this is my quote here. Fam trips shouldn't feel like a marathon. They should feel like a memory. Ooh, that was a good one right there. I gotta say that again. Okay, fam trips shouldn't feel like a marathon. They should feel like a memory. Ah, oh, I love that. Who didn't like that? Okay. Who did not like that? But anyway, all right. So I'm done with that. And we're going to jump into boom, who's hiring? Okay. So these jobs here are in the greater Los Angeles area. They're not in New York. So anybody from New York, these are not open jobs in New York. Okay. And primarily, of course, they're hospitality related jobs, specifically like sales, and sometimes there's general manager positions, and I think there's a director of banquets or something in here. So I'm going to go through the list of these jobs that are in the greater Los Angeles area. Cambria Hotel in El Segundo. El Segundo is right next to the airport. Just in case you did not know, that's kind of south of the airport. They're looking for a director of sales. That's the Cambria Hotel in El Segundo. They're looking for a DOS. The West Drift Hotel, which is one of my favorite hotels, in Manhattan Beach. They're looking for a task force director of banquets. Task force director of banquets. Okay. Crown Plaza in San Pedro, which is outside of Los Angeles. They're looking for a senior sales manager. Casa, downtown Los Angeles. They're looking for a director of sales. Now, Casa is a tech-enabled hotel slash apartment hotel brand that it was a management company, right? But they, when I say tech, everything is, I mean, you check in with your phone. You text if you have issues. There's no parking there. You're on your own for parking. There's no restaurant there. Your DoorDash or however you do it on your phone. The TV, there's a TV there, but there's no cable. It's all the Netflix and whatever. So you have to subscribe to everything. So everything is tech driven, but you're the one that's initiating all this tech, right? And I think there's someone there that's on staff. At least there's an engineer there, and there's security there at night. And of course, during the day, they're cleaning the rooms, right? But as far as, do you have questions about things? There may be someone there during the day, but after hours, and I want to say after 5 o'clock, you have to text whatever. There's a number they'll give you, so you can text, whoever's in charge. And if you need things like, say, I don't know what you would need, toilet paper for the bathroom. Okay. You text them, I need some toilet paper in 201. Okay. Well, they'll bring you up some toilet paper. Okay. Or if there's an accident or something happens and maybe maintenance has to come in, well, then you text that same number, and that's how it works. Right. So everything is up to you for the most part. There's no parking. There's no restaurant. There's Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi probably should work a lot better there than it does in any other hotel. But these are starting to pop up nationwide. Just look up Casa, Kasa, and you'll see there's some similar companies that are doing the same thing. So look up Casa, and that's the thing that's downtown. So Casa, downtown LA, they're looking for a director of sales. I had to explain what it is because everyone does not know what Casa is. I guarantee there's someone, see that guy in the back, he just raised his hand. He doesn't know that what Casa is. So, and I only knew that because I knew someone that worked there. So there you go. Sanborn, Santa Monica, that's a hotel. Sanborn Hotel, Santa Monica. They're looking for a group sales manager. Four Seasons, LA, they're looking for a sales manager as well. That'd be a great job, right? The Beverly Hills Hotel, they're looking for a sales director. So there you go. So if you're in the line of looking for a job or looking for a new job or whatever, there you go. And those are all on either on Indeed.com or H Careers. Okay. So those are the two mainstays for when hospitality people are looking for jobs. So look on H Careers, Indeed.com. And if you're looking for like a DMO position, something like that, go to searchwide.com. And you may find something that you're looking for. I don't know, but you may. So anyway, I think that's about it. And do I have anything else I need to go over? Because I think I'm about done here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that show. Shout out again to Michelle and Joseph and Samuel out there in the desert in the greater Palm Springs area. I do appreciate what you guys did. I do appreciate the virtual fam trip or tour that we did last week. And I definitely appreciate the gift that you guys sent. So yeah, and like I said, I have to cook, dinner, things like that. So as I'm cooking dinner, I'm going to have me a cocktail. Okay. So there you go. And it's going to be and I think I have some basil outside. I grow a lot of stuff, right? So I think I have some basil. So yeah, some fresh basil leaves. I think I do. So if I don't, then I'll have to run to the store. But anyway, I think that is it. So this show comes on every Tuesday at 1:00. Okay. So every Tuesday, 1 p.m. PST. It's called On Air with Russell of Hotels. Let me just make sure This was show number 317. Boom. Anything that I talked about, make sure you know that it will be on my blog so you don't have to write anything down. I will just give me some time to put it on my website, which is russellofhotels.com. Let me see. Follow me on, so I'm giving you all my information, right? So follow me on IG, YouTube, and LinkedIn, Russell at Russell of Hotels or Russell L. Edmond. It's going to be in either one of those, right? Like I said, IG is at Russell of Hotels, YouTube at Russell of Hotels, LinkedIn at Russell L. Edmond. Okay. And then on air with Russell of Hotels. You want to email me, please do so. I'm accessible, 100% accessible. It's one thing no one else can say that I can say. You can call me, you can email me, Russell at russellofhotels.com. And you can go to my website, russellofhotels.com. My phone number is there. If you want to pick up the phone and call me, please do so. And I'll actually probably answer the phone. But no, I won't. And this is the reason why I won't. Because unless your number is in my phone, I'm not going to answer it. Just leave a message and I'll make sure I do. Or text that number and say, hey, I'm Joe Smith from wherever. And I'm like, oh, I know Joe Smith. Yeah, let me call him. Let me call him back. Or like Joseph with Tommy Bahama, just say, hey, this is Joseph with Tommy Bahama. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let me call this guy back. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. So, yeah. So just make sure, but that's all my information. So feel free to, once again, to reach out in touch, and I'll make sure I respond to you. So I gave you all my information. If you just happen to be tuning into this, you can go back and rewind it. Okay. The replay will be on these same platforms, so feel free to replay it just in case you didn't catch it live. I mean, I would love everyone to be on this live, but I know it doesn't happen. I know it's virtually impossible for that to even happen, given the time of day. But you can always listen to or watch it on the replay. So feel free at your leisure to check it out on the replay, because that's what it's all about. So anyway, that is it. You guys have a great day. Happy Tuesday. Remember, On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. The daily check-in comes on every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So whether you like it or not, you got 5 days a week of me, okay? And who wouldn't like 5 days a week of me? But anyway, there you go. Have a great day.